You'll never get away with this. Oh, hi. We're live, I guess. That was dumb. But it was better than the intro yesterday's intro, which was all muted. So, welcome back. It's not too often I do streams in less than 24 hours apart, so this will be fun. How's everyone doing today? So what we're going to do today is, if you were here yesterday, I worked on this Magnus Burnsides piece from the Adventure Zone. I got it all inked. I put in a little texture here to give it a good D&D texture. And so I'm not going to do too much color-wise. You can see I've already kind of started putting this kind of watercolor look for the shirt. We're going to continue that. And then, once we're done with this piece, which shouldn't take too long, because again, I'm not fully rendering this, it's just going to be a light color wash. But once I am done with this, we're going to move over to here, and we're going to ink and maybe color, probably color. Color is really important in Evangelion. This Eva 01. So that's our agenda for today. So let's get going. So I'm using this watercolor brush. Where is it? A textured edge. And again, I'm just going to. I'm not really concerned, or I don't really care about getting like perfect colors, rendering, all that stuff. I just want to give it just a good wash, so to help the kind of hold the line art a little bit, if you will. Yep, and Eva, welcome sideways. For this technique I'm using here, I gotta try my best to keep even pressure. Also, I'm gonna get these watermarks I'm not really looking to get. I mean, there's gonna be a little bit of texture going on in here, just because that's the kind of brush I picked. But I don't want it to be too splotchy, so I gotta try to keep the even pressure as much as I can. And then once I kind of get that in there, I can go back through here and kind of darken it up however I see fit. Goldfish, yes. His name is Steven the Goldfish. Get a secondary color going in here. Just give it a little bit of color in the shadows. And I don't want to overdo it. I think that's looking pretty good so far. So of the people watching, any of you guys fans of the Adventure Zone? mistake here. Whoops. Let's undo that. I'm not terribly concerned with getting this to look perfect. I'm not even really worried about staying inside the lines. I mean, I don't want to be outrageous here, but like if I go a little outside the lines, that's okay. Just want to give it this feeling of like an old, like a storybook drawing, really. Or an old medieval. Won't really be medieval. Medieval drawings didn't really have this style, but like more of a, I guess, fantasy, old-timey fantasy look. It's alright if you dropped off with it sideways. It's not something you need to get back to. I think it's a lot of fun. But, I mean, to be 100% honest, I haven't watched their second campaign. The arc that they're doing now is Monster of the Week. And they're playing Monster of the Week, and I just have no interest in listening to them play Monster of the Week. I want them to go back to Dungeons and Dragons, but it's their podcast. They can do what they want. I think it's time to put on some music for myself. So yeah, if Adventure Zone isn't really your thing, that's cool. That's fine. Monster of the Week isn't really my thing. I should be more accurate. I like playing Monster of the Week. I'm not really interested in listening to other people play Monster of the Week. Yeah, the I forget what they call it. Amnesty, I think, is the story arc that they're playing now. Like the first arc was called Balance, and that was D&D. And that's what this character is from. Their Balance arc, where they played just straight up D&D. But once they finished that campaign, they didn't continue playing D&D. They switched game modules. They're playing Monster of the Week now. Yeah. Now I know, like, some of our friends are listening to the current campaign, the Monster of the Week one, and they like it. So take that for whatever it's worth. Let's see. think I'm going to give him his shoulder pad kind of a metallic look. Before I do that, though, let's add in some shadows here. Or some color into the shadows, I should say. Just finished the second Fate Grand Order summer event. I have no idea what that is. What is that, Silver Kaze? Oh. I still haven't checked that out. I still need to look at what that is. Alright. I'm glad you got a good pull regardless, despite my my ignorance on it. It's always a good feeling when your summons are good, or your pulls, or loot boxes, or whatever mechanic the game has. Oh, that's cool. So you have to summon heroes from different mythologies. That's really cool. Even Thomas Edison. If you summon Thomas Edison, does it steal King Arthur's sword and then say it was his? I thought that was a pretty good joke. Yeah, what summon was that when you first started? Oh, Carmilla, is that, historically, isn't that the, Blood Countess? The woman who bathed in the blood of all those, maidens? Oh, it is the same one. Cool. I know a thing or two about history, I guess. Ah, I see. Interesting. Does this what platform do you play this game on? Is it is it like a Steam game or like a mobile game? Oh, it's a mobile game. All right, cool. This looks so weird to me, this picture, because it's so unlike how I normally do things. I so rarely loosely throw in colors like this. Feels outside my style. What do you guys think? Is it working? Fate Extella. Okay. It's different. You like it? Looks pretty cool so far. Does have that D&D feel to it? Good. All right. I am succeeding. Yeah, the other thing I'm trying to avoid is have like really bright colors or a lot of bright colors. Which is one of the reasons I have on this top layer. I have the parchment layer here, and that sits on top of all of it, so even if I pick some really outrageously bright colors, it'll kind of all get blended together with this overlaid color. Some brass color in here. You know, now that I did that, I don't like it. I think I want to keep them all silver. Or I think I want to keep all the metal bits to be this grayish silver color. I don't think I want to have any brass color. So how's everyone's Saturday going so far? You know, Silver Kaze, like, the games like that, you need to spike that difficulty. Because if it doesn't, if you don't do that, and this has happened to me with a lot of mobile games I've played, it just becomes a lot of, if you don't like really kind of push the difficulty suddenly, that really makes you have to grind or really work for it, it gets boring. I've stopped playing a lot of mobile games just because it was just more of the same, more of the same, more of the same, and it's like, alright, I get it. And I didn't really wasn't really interested in playing anymore. So I think that's a pretty good thing to have that spike there to, I guess, incentivize you to grind and do all that stuff. Yeah, an effective wake-up call. That's a good way to put it. Axe here. Magnus here, he wields an axe called the Rail Splitter, which allows him to cut down any tree of any size in one swoop, one swing. I guess that's a better way to do it. 5 Killer 5, pretty chill, nice to catch your stream, usually miss them or show up late. Well, I'm glad you're here. I always feel like I stream at the worst times. I feel like most people who want to watch me work, I stream when they're not available. So, I'm glad you're able to catch it. I'm also glad people actually want to watch my streams. Because there's, that little voice in your head that's like, no one wants to watch you do this. What are you doing? Why are you even bothering? Just gotta tell that little voice to shut up. There? Quite sure if I want to give Magnus's skin a straight up color, or just let his skin be the paper color, the paper white. I don't know, I haven't decided yet. If the grinding isn't too bad. I don't mind grinding in games as long as it's satisfying, I guess, for lack of a better term. Like, if it starts to feel tedious, I don't want to do it. But like in Final Fantasy VI, I don't mind grinding in that game. It's fun to use the different abilities that the characters have. So yeah, I don't. So if as long as it's fun, I don't mind grinding. Oh, you're too kind, 5 Killer 5, to say that. Glad you enjoy my work. All right. Since I'm being real loose with the colors here, I feel like usually when I color, I'm very methodical. It's like, first we do the flats. Now we flat everything. Now do all the the loose shadows and highlights, and now you pick. Now on the shirt, put the specific shadows, specific highlights, the specific reflected light. Okay, moving on to the pants. And now, like, I'm being really loose with my colors right now. And so I'm like, oh, what did I do? What do I still need to do? So it's doing something completely different. Surprise has thrown off my whole internal clock. My internal process of how I go about doing things, which isn't a big deal. It's always good to be out of your comfort zone every now and again. Color. That album's done. Hold on, I gotta switch up my music here. Oh, I just noticed that you followed there, 5Killer5. Thank you for following. I appreciate it. Wow, we're knocking down the HP of our boss. We have let's see, Rain Retribute is our boss right now for the stream. HP was the HP at 590. So the HP is almost halfway down. So the way you can knock down the HP of the boss is following. You can donate bits or donate to the PayPal if you click that donate button. Also, subscribing does damage. And if you knock out the boss, if you land a killing blow onto the boss, you become the new boss. For those of you guys who don't know what the stream boss is. Sideways was the stream boss for a long time. We were finally dethroned not too long ago. Let's see. We like how the characters react. Oh, in your the game. Yeah, character reactions and interactions are always fun. The Fire Emblem I know came out recently, and that was always a fun thing with Fire Emblem games, were creating like relationships between characters and building that stuff up. That's always a lot of fun. Yeah, Three Houses is coming out. Or I keep saying it's coming out. I'm pretty sure it's already out. So I'm gonna have to check that game out soon. You know, and all the time I don't have to play video games. All right, I think we're almost done with him. I think we just need to do the robot arms. Put some shading in his face and hands and arms. I think we're going to call that done very, very soon. What do you guys think? Do you guys have any opinions? Any suggestions? You say you joined the Fire Emblem party late, but I'm pretty sure no one really knew about Fire Emblem here in the States until Sacred Stones. And even if that is considered late, I'm way later. Because I've not played any of them. But I've watched some friends play them, so I know a little bit about them. But I've never played myself. You can feel the texture. Good, 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 good. I want to give it a little bit of color without overpowering it. Like if I take out the color here and I take out, you know, the texture, like the black and white looks pretty good on its own, but it doesn't. It feels like this is missing something. So by adding in this texture, coloring the line a little bit, and adding in this watercolor, I feel like it's really starting to feel the way I want it to feel. Yeah, Awakening. I think that's the first game I've ever experienced. Again, I haven't played them myself, but let's do the robot arms here. What color should I make them? I want them to look robotic, but I don't want to break this fantasy feeling that I got going. Let's start with the chrome color for this front arm, and we'll see where that goes. All right, let's see. See, the key to making something look metallic and shiny is contrast. Having things very bright next to things that are very dark. I think that looks all right. I'm not quite sure. Okay, so I got the chrome parts down. That looks pretty good. I feel like the arms themselves... Oh, let's do this. I don't want them all to be the same color, or else it'll look a bit on the boring side. I think I'm going to make at least this arm all chrome too. might have mentioned this already, but if you guys are enjoying this art and you want the high resolution download of it, my silver tier patrons are going to be giving this piece. They get to every month. They all the patrons on the silver tier, they get to basically suggest a character for me to draw, and I literally put I list them out, all the characters. I put kind of make a list all the characters, put a number next to them, and I roll a dice, and whatever number pops up, that's the one that I draw that month. So, and then all the patrons at that tier get to get the artwork that I draw. So that's why I'm doing Magnus. I almost said Mangus. That's why I'm doing Mangus here. I did it again. That's why I'm drawing this dude, because he won the dice roll. You're wondering why I was doing this? And since for my patrons, since it is random, hypothetically speaking, you could be a patron and never at that tier and never get your character selected. So what I do is, if you are a patron, and for every 6 months you're a patron at that tier, you get a guaranteed sketch from it. So if, let's say, it's been you've been a silver tier patron for 6 months, your character has never come up. The dice roll just hates you for some reason. At your 6 month point, I say, hey, what do you want me to draw? And I'll just draw it for you. And I do that even if you have had your character picked for within that 6 months. So like, in that 6 months, if you've had your character you requested picked twice, at your 6 months you still get a guaranteed sketch from it. So it's not like only if your character hasn't been picked. It's only if you've been a patron at that tier level for 6 months. My thank you is that I'll draw a character for you. I do that mostly because, one, it is random, and it's not fair that if you've been a patron for a long time that you never get your character picked. But I also do that because the more people that join that tier, the chances of you getting your character pick goes down. When there were only 3 people in that tier, chances of you getting your character pick was pretty high. Right? Now there's 6 people in that tier. So chances are going down, and the more people that join, the lower your chances are. So I do that 6 months to not only say thank you, but to increase your chances of getting what you want eventually. Pretty good. All Alright. So, while this saves, because it's clearly taking a minute, I'm going to finish this robot arm here. I got to do the duck down here. And then I'm going to put some shadows in his skin. And then I got to do the circle here. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to handle that. And then I'm going to call him done. And then we'll move over to working on EVA 01. So that's our game plan. Let's make this arm. No, it's not the moon. It's just kind of a design element. In fact, one of the player Travis McElroy that plays Magnus here. Now I was second guess myself to see if I'm saying his name right. Whenever there's anything that happens, he always says Magnus rushes in. That's kind of, I guess, for lack of a better term, a catchphrase. So I'm gonna put in kind of medieval font here, going along the inside of the circle. Mangus. Man, I'm gonna get this right one of these times. Mangus. Now I've completely tripped myself up. I don't even know his name anymore. Alright, what do you guys think about that? I'm not totally sold on these robot arms, but... think I got this. Yeah, there we go. Looks good? Alright. I'm sure those of you guys who watch me do this a lot realize I don't have any idea what I'm doing. I just kind of just see what looks good and then hope for the best. Alright, let's give that a save. Out of coffee. They could be. Now in the story they do the reason I drew those arms is they do encounter robots. And Magnus here has he has an affinity for ripping the arms off of the robots and keeping them. So I thought that was pretty funny. So I decided to incorporate that with the character. He also has a pet goldfish that he keeps in a little jar there. If I remember right, it was enchanted somehow. Like there wasn't any way to open the glass jar, but the fish didn't die or starve or anything. Sometimes Kaz feels, yeah, you're not wrong about that. Here, hold on one sec. I'm gonna tweet this real quick. Not tweet, Instagram. Alright. That didn't take too long. So does coffee. Yes, coffee does fuel creativity. Or at the very least, keeps me awake long enough to be creative. Alright, so we got the arms. Let's get this little duck. Let's make him kind of like a yellow duck. It's a wooden duck, but I feel like it would have been painted somehow. Wood shavings around him. Looks pretty good. Maybe I won't color in that circle. Maybe I'll just keep it a circle. And we'll just have the text kind of go around the inside here. Well, only one way to find out. What we'll do is we'll color that in on a different layer, and if we hate it, we'll just take it out. But first, let's get a skin kind of color here. At least a shadow. You know, I've been using purple for shadow, and it's been working out pretty good, but since I don't have... not given his skin a specific color, let's give him a warmer shadow color here. I know I'm a little biased because, you know, it's my drawing, but I love how I did the hair on his arms. Looks like my hairy arms. I appreciate it. Thank you. Did a less good job of the hair on his chest, but you know, can't be perfect, right? Let's actually get some color in there.
here's a little trick on the face. People's faces are all variations of brown, but if you just use brown, it's going to look like a doll. So you want to mix in some like reds. Actually, let's stick with this reddish purple for the shadows. And then mix some red, and then, believe it or not, some greens. I don't know how jolly I want to make him. Is that too jolly? It's too jolly. Oops. Do want to just add just a light touch here. It's a D&D feel, but the comic influence. You know what? That is probably one of the greatest compliments someone could give me. I appreciate that. Because I love my comic influences. And I'm never going to give those up, but definitely wanted to have that D&D feel. Alright, so got some red in there. Put a little bit of red like on his knuckles here. Tough. You don't want to go, if you go too much, it looks like he's sick. But just a little, a very light touch is enough to bring a little bit of life to the skin. And then once you kind of have the red in there, you want to switch out for some green. Which I know, again, seems a little counterintuitive. But if you look at your own hand, or anything in your face, your hand, you'll see all sorts of colors. You'll see blues, you'll see greens, reds. Oops. Again, you don't want to go too overboard. Go too much, it's going to look like he's sick. Blue. A little overboard on his fingertips here. Well, so what I'm going to do, I think this is looking really good, and I really like it, but I want his smile to stand out a little bit, so I'm going to create a new layer on top of the paper layer, the paper texture. I'm just going to get a little bit of white here. Because I want that smile to really stand out. I keep looking at this, I really like how this is looking, but I'm going to add a little bit more color into his shirt. I think it's too pale, but I don't want to go, again, too overboard. And just hit it with a little bit of red here. Just a little bit more color. Blue. And give him that rustic hospitality feel. That's just about done. I'm going to add just a little bit of color here and there, just so it feels a bit more uniform. This is done. What do you guys think? Most importantly, do you think I should leave the circle as is, or do you think I should put something back there? Should I fill that in? Let's just see. We'll do it on a different layer, so we don't risk ruining anything. Layer underneath all of it. I don't even know what color to try. Maybe like a deep blue. That's not going to work. With the transparency of the watercolor, yeah, that's not going to work. The answer is we're going to leave it as is. Alright, so yeah, I was just going to do a solid color of some sort, or like a watercolory color. But because of the transparency of this watercolor brush I've been using, that blue is going, any color I choose is going to show through the layer that I'm on now. And so I would have to create an opaque layer underneath him before I did that. I guess that is a solution, but frankly, I don't feel like doing that right now. Maybe I'll do it later. And I don't want to waste your time importing this into Illustrator to put in the text. You guys came here to watch me draw, not do graphic design. So I think we're going to call this done, and we're going to move on to drawing EVA 01, unless anyone has any last-minute suggestions, ideas, thoughts, existential crises that they want me to address with this drawing. Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. You're very kind. Alright, so let's move on to Eva here. Alright, so let me kind of show you how this started. I did this, I started this line art on my iPad. I guess I started Magnus here on my iPad too, but so I went through a different process than I normally do. So normally, I just straight up just draw it. Actually, you can kind of see with Magnus's line art here to the top layer. You can kind of see. I just kind of straight up sketch it. So with this one, though, what I did... Let's say that. I don't lose what I did. Alright, so here what I did is started with an extremely loose sketch. Just to kind of get the pose. I made it look easy. Oh, that's nice. I don't feel like I do that. I feel like I'm awkward and make things look weird. Anyway. So I did a really loose layout here, and then I, still keeping it very loose, did very loose dark pencils over it, and now I'm going to blue line this, and lower the opacity just a little. Now I'm going to ink over it. So I'm going to switch to my pen. So it's a little bit different than what I normally do. So the line art here is, of this sketch that is a little bit thicker than I'm used to. So I'm not 100% sure why I even did it this way. I'm always trying different things, as you can see with Magnus here. Some of it works, some of it doesn't, so we'll see if this ended up working in my favor. I'm not quite sure. Like I shaded in a lot of the black with my pencil here. I'm not sure if I want to actually have that jet black or if I want to kind of fill it in with color and let color do a lot of the work. So who among you has watched Evangelion, Neon Genesis Evangelion? Yeah, have you gotten all the way through it from beginning to end? Because I just watched it for the first time too. I finished it maybe a week ago as well. I've always seen parts of it and like episodes here and there, but I've never watched it straight through, beginning to end. with very little stops in between. I really binged this show. Yeah, so this was the first time I ever watched it all the way from beginning to end. Have you seen the end of Evangelion movie? Because the series, like the formal series, ends weirdly, and then the movie end of Evangelion kind of fills in those gaps. Now the movies, like the You Will Not Advance, the 1.1 or whatever, those are just like retellings of the story, better animated, some minor changes. But for the most part, it's the same story. Sideways, how far are you in the series? I think last we talked you were like on episode 10? Yeah, I strongly, before you watch any of the movies like 1.0 or any of those movies, strongly recommend watching the end of Evangelion. It changes the ending of the... it doesn't change it, but it makes the last 2 episodes of the series make more sense. And it's only 90 minutes. It's not like a huge time sink. I do want this to be black. You're gonna binge. Yeah, the episode... It's pretty... The weird thing with Evangelion is like the first 20 episodes, it's practically Monster of the Week. Just something happens, angels attack, they find angels have a new crafty way to fight everyone, and the Evas find a clever way to defeat them. And then once you hit around like episode 20, 22, things get weird. You're like, am I even watching the same show? What is happening?
I gotta get some music playing again. Hold on. Hi, Sam Zika? Welcome. Redraw. Well, no, I mean no offense, but I'm not gonna click on strange links in the chat. No, I'm not gonna do it. I appreciate your eagerness, though. But yeah, I'm not going to just click on strange links in the chat. And besides, even if I did click on the link, I don't just do art for free. I am a pro at this, so all the art that I do are either for patrons or people who've commissioned me to do the art. So sorry to be disappointing. It's just the way it is, unfortunately.
So does anyone have any fun plans for today? Other than, you know, hanging out with me? Which I do greatly appreciate. But this stream isn't going to last all day, so what are you guys going to do after? Maybe movies. Oh, cool. Like going to the theater or just kind of watching at home? Theater. Oh, cool. What movie are you gonna go see? And sideways, you're gonna play Borderlands. Move on to the DLC. Very cool. I think I've beaten that game, oh man, at least 3 times. Since we've been talking about D&D, you definitely need to try Tiny Tina's DLC. It is a beautiful hybrid of D&D and Borderlands. Oh, John Wick 3. I haven't watched any of the John Wick movies, and I want to so bad. Oh yeah, Tiny Tina's hilarious. I don't know, Seth might have told you about it, but have you ever watched any of the Hey Ash, What You Playin' YouTube episodes? They're very short, web series. Yeah, they are good. Yeah, everyone tells me they're so good, and I need to go see the John Wick films. Yeah, it's the brother and sister, and usually it's some kind of silly thing that has to do with a video game, usually loosely. But yeah, Tiny Tina is Ash, and her brother wrote Borderlands 2. I think this is looking pretty good. Let's see, how long have I been doing this? Not quite 2 hours. Not quite sure what the end game is here. I'm definitely going to ink it, give it all line art. I feel like color is going to look good on this. Not quite sure though. If I want to leave it black and white, make it look like a manga page. I'm not quite sure if he wrote her with wrote the whole story with her in mind, because she was I don't know if you've gone to it in the regular Borderlands story, but she's in Borderlands proper. And Ashley Birch is, I mean, she's really got a good career going for her for being a voice actress. She's in a lot of stuff nowadays. She's even on a Critical Role. She plays a character for a little bit. What do you think? Is this looking like Eva? Like the Unit 1? No, she's on the second season. Alright, you guys agree. It's looking good. I guess I should expect that answer though, right? If you guys thought I was stinking, you probably would have stopped watching a while back. Yeah, I've only watched maybe the first 9, maybe 10 episodes of the second season of Critical Role. And then of the first season, all I've ever seen is just whatever Lily's had on the background. I just kind of catch it just because it's on in the background. Let's make a shortcut here. I like Manga Studio because they have this lasso fill. So if I want to fill something in, I don't have to lasso it and then switch to the paint bucket. I can just lasso it and it immediately fills in. It's silly how saving just a step or two is just a huge time saver. So, what can we talk about? I've been quiet for a little while. You might have noticed when I'm inking Eva here, I'm a little bit looser with it. I'm not trying to get these perfectly smooth lines. Like if I zoom in here, like you can see how like here the lines aren't full. Like this one goes way off the, doesn't even connect to anything. So the main reason I'm inking like this is because I want to have this roughness. So when I zoom out here, there's kind of a grit to the Eva. So that's kind of what I'm going for here. I want there to be this gritty feel. Oh, I got a question. How long does it usually take you to do a piece like this from start to finish? Oh, that's a great question. Honestly, it kind of depends on if I know what I want when I start. Like if we go through their steps here, like this sketch, this took me like, I don't know, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Just trying to figure out what I want it to look like, the pose, general gesture. Maybe not even 10 minutes. This took significantly longer because I had to look up all the details of the Evas, and like the Evas are not natural looking. They don't have normally human proportions. The helmet or the face is really weirdly shaped. I don't know how the manga artists and the more accurately, well, the manga artists for sure, but like the animators that had to draw this in every frame were able to draw this helmet, 20 times, 24 times per second. That's crazy. So this took a lot longer. This probably took a couple hours to sketch just to get all the details down. And then, what I got going on here. So how long have I been doing this? Maybe half hour now. So this will probably take me I got this much done in a half hour, probably another hour to complete. And then coloring really depends on how rendered I want it to be. Like, this, you saw me color all of this in just like an hour and a half. Something like if I was to go more like cell shaded, this one's in process, but something cell shaded like this, I probably will only take me like an hour. Something like this, where it's like fully rendered in color, this will take me a few hours. Just because I get every single color in, all the shading, blending, all that stuff. So that something like that will take me a few hours. So, hope that answers your question. I do put in a lot of work. Probably more than I should, honestly. Not that I don't want to work hard on my art. Don't mistake that. But I probably put too much time into it. I probably need to find a way to streamline the process, be a little bit faster, so I can make more art. I don't want to sacrifice quality, but at the same time, if I can get more art done, that's better, right? Especially if I want to make comics, you know. I can't spend, if I want to get a comic book out, a 20-page comic, like I can't spend, 8 hours on one panel. Might have to look up a reference again. I feel like I'm getting some of these details wrong. It's true, but I feel once you start that process of making a comic, you'll naturally find that rhythm. Yeah, you're not wrong. My problem with my comics is simply, I guess for lack of a better term, funding. It's not that I spend most of my time doing commissions, stuff for my patrons, things I need to do to pay the bills, which is great. I'm very happy I have, patrons and supporters that help me pay the bills. But if I'm doing artwork for other people, I'm not doing artwork for me, so the comics aren't getting made. So that's my main problem with comics. It takes me a while to make them, and because it takes me a while to make them, I need to get funding, or I need to basically pay the bills. That's the bottom line. So I take commissions, do all that stuff, which is fantastic. But those comics don't make themselves. This has actually come out pretty good, I think. I think I'm able to capture that awkward, monstrous feel that the Evas have, specifically 01. So, I am curious if you guys have any requests for what I can do on future streams. I took kind of the conventions I had this summer kind of made me kind of a little sporadic in my streams. So I'm finally getting back on schedule, even if I have some late starts. But I do want to know what kind of things you guys would like to see. Do you guys like just watching me draw? Would you like me to do more video game stuff? Would you guys like me to do a cooking episode? I don't know how I would even do that. I don't think I have the setup for that. Should I do more tutorials? Should I do like a critique episode again? You like the drawing? That's good. Cooking, I can be like Brutal Moose. I don't know if any of you guys watch Brutal Moose's YouTube channels, or YouTube videos. I love watching his cooking videos. They're hilarious. Although they stress me out a little bit because he does things wrong. And I'm just like yelling at the screen, no, that's not how you use that. Oh, tutorials, video game characters. Yeah, what I might do actually, I kind of fell off with the tutorials when my schedule changed a little bit. I got to get back into that. If I did tutorials, what kind of tutorials would you guys want to see? Like, I've already done kind of like basic faces, I did basic hands, I did basic color theory and shading. What else have I done tutorials on? I thought it was fun. I don't know if you guys agreed or if you even saw it, but I like the I like doing that critique episode where people send me their art and I got to kind of draw on top of it, critique it, improve on it. Oh, body proportions? I actually, I did that too. I don't know if it's in my clips folder here on Twitch. If it's not, it should be on my YouTube channel, which is just YouTube / Shadows of Oblivion. I originally created that channel to do like animations and stuff, but much like why my comics have kind of been slow to come out, I haven't made any animations. So I've just been putting my the backups, the archives of my Twitch streams on there. Yeah, please check it out, and I hope it helps. I guess if I did tutorials, I could do on more specific things. I've done like a lot of very general things. Let's see. think one thing I do want to do... Oh! Looks like I got a new YouTube subscriber. Is that you, 5Killer5? Well, welcome aboard. I mean, my YouTube channel isn't that exciting. It's mostly just replays of my Twitch channel, so... You can't interact with those like you can with me here on Twitch, so... But it is good in case you miss some streams. You want to watch it. We only keep the streams here for 2 weeks, and then they take them down. So that's why I had to move them over to YouTube, so I didn't lose my streams. Although they do keep the highlights on, it seems like for an indefinite amount of time. Yeah, no, that's good. I appreciate it. I want you to be able to watch my streams whenever you miss them. I'm thinking, let's see, how many followers do I have? 88. So that, yeah. So this is what I think I want to do in the future. If once I reach 100 followers on Twitch here, I want to do another request stream. I did that when I got affiliate status, and I had a lot of fun with that. So I want to do that again, but I feel like that's something, if I do it too often, it kind of loses like the speciality of it. It doesn't feel like a fun event. It just feels like, oh, it's just another thing Shono's doing. So I think if I attach follower count or some kind of monumentous occasion, I think it'll make doing a request stream even more fun. So I think what we'll do is, if I can reach 100 followers, which I know eventually I will, but sooner obviously is better, we'll do a request stream. So tell your friends. Man, I gotta say, I really like how this is coming out. This is... Looking at the sketch, I wasn't really feeling it. Like, it looked okay, but man, this is looking good. I like it. Save. I gotta get some more music. What music should I put on? What's your guys' favorite bands? Alright, I think I decided. I still want to hear what kind of bands you guys like, but I decided to put on some Operation Ivy. Jeez. Yeah, I think all of us have music in all sorts of genres that we like. Like those of you guys who watch streams, my streams where I just kind of put on some music, stay off the mic, and just draw. I usually have a lot of punk, metal, which I guess is what I'm listening to now, is some Operation Ivy, but I love hardcore metal. I'm not a huge hip-hop fan, but I do appreciate it. I feel like I'm missing some details in the knee pad here. Probably pull up a reference a little bit later. Wow, it's almost been 2.5 hours? Jeez. Time flies. How are you guys doing? You're with me. Nice. Good lazy Saturday. All right. You guys aren't bored of me yet? Lazy Saturdays are best days. Though, only day that beats is a lazy Sunday. Well, I'm a little biased because Sunday is D&D day. So I have a preference for Sunday. We are getting there. I'm not sure if I want to finish this piece on stream, because I've been doing this for 2.5 hours. This is probably going to take me at least another half hour. You know what? Yeah, let's do it. I probably won't finish this whole thing on stream. I'm probably not going to do the background. I'm probably not going to do colors. But let's at least finish the line art here. Forget to save. Oh, that's right, when Sam Zika followed, knocked off another 100 HP off the boss. So we're past halfway on that one. I'm going to repeat myself for those of you guys who have been watching this whole stream. Those of you guys who kind of new. Anything you kind of do, follow, subscribe, donate bits, donate anything for that matter. That all does damage to the boss. And if you defeat the boss, if you do the death blow, you get to be the new boss. I don't know. I think it's a fun little thing. It's a little silly, but I think it's fun. Oh, my artist name. Oh, that is a good question. And it's not a long story, but it's an old name. Have you ever played the Square Enix? Well, they were just Squaresoft at the time. Game Chrono Trigger. It was it originally came out for the Super Nintendo, but yeah. So it originally came out for the Super Nintendo, but it's been out, like, there was a re-release on the PlayStation. It came out on the 3DS. So the game, it's called Chrono Trigger. Without spoiling anything, time travel's involved. And the main character's name is Chrono, spelled C-R-O-N-O. And so, just like all old RPGs, you have the option to change the name of the main characters. So you can make them whatever name you want. So I started playing, and when it came to name Chrono, I was like, I'm just going to put my name. I'm just going to put Sean. And so I changed the C to an S, and changed the R to an H, and it said O-N-O. And I just looked at it, and I was like, I like that name. And I'm like a young teenager at this point. I'm 12, 13. And so, maybe even younger. Let's see. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, so I was probably 11, 12, 13 in there. So that became my it became a nickname first, because I just thought it was cool, and then my friends started calling me that. They just kept calling me Shono, and yeah, the rest is history from there. The great part came when I was in high school. We were giant dorks and did backyard wrestling, and so we started. So instead of just being Shono in the wrestling, I was the Great Shono. And then, yeah, so that's where the great part came from. And then I started using it on like accounts like this Twitch account because just the word Shono, that name is usually taken pretty quickly. So whenever I create a new account, I always try to be Shono. And then if I can't, and I usually can't be because it's usually taken, I put in the Great Shono. And that usually goes in quite well. So, that's the history of my nickname / art name. Riveting, I know. Yeah, I did kind of stumble upon it, didn't I? I mean, I chalked part of it up to just me being a stupid kid. I don't think if I did the same thing when I was an adult, I don't think I would have made the same choices. But, yeah, it kind of stuck, you know. It kind of helped that I've had a lot of the same friends since middle school. I mean, not that I've only had the same friends from middle school, but like, you know, my friends from middle school that called me Shono, I'm still friends with. So even today, they'll still call me, you know, when I walk into the room, they go, "Hey, Shono!" So that kind of helped the name keep its staying power. So if everyone stopped calling me that name in middle school, I probably would have stopped using it myself. Alright, so we just got one more arm. We can call the line art drag. Might have to make some small changes too. Looking at this now, looks like I made the two shoulders slightly different. That's alright. At least for now, for this stream, it's alright. We'll probably fix it later. don't think I'm going to do the power chord, or at least I'm not going to ink it today. I'm not 100% sure I want to leave that in. It kind of messes with the composition a little bit. I always like doing kind of cuts into the ink. Because doing just flat blacks, well, as the name suggests, makes it look flat. And even though I want it to be a very dark black, I don't want it to flatten out the image. So doing little cuts into the black ink make it feel like it's not flat, like there's actually some volume going on there. Glad you think so there, Sideways. We're almost done. Once I finish inking this piece, I'm going to call the stream done. So probably another 10 minutes, I'm thinking. Shouldn't take me too much longer. No, you're fine, Sideways. I've been streaming for almost 3 hours. It's kind of... I mean, I would have to have some ego to expect you to just sit here and pay attention to me for 3 hours straight. Doesn't feel like... Yeah, I agree. It doesn't feel like 3 hours, but I'm also the one drawing, so I feel like it's gotta feel way longer for you guys. I guess to be fair, you guys can stop watching at any time, so if you're still around, it's because you want to be here. At least I assume that's the case. I feel like my sketch got some of the details wrong, so I think after the stream, I'm gonna look up a picture here and see what I messed up on and fix the minor details. All right. All right, guys. What do you think? Hopefully, most importantly, I got Simon. There we go. All right. There's definitely some adjustments I'm going to have to make, but I think that looks pretty good. What are you guys' thoughts? Got an awesome. Alright guys, well I think 3 hours is just about enough time streaming. Unless my hand needs a little bit of a break. Oh man, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna need a stretch after this. Anyway, I want to thank all of you guys for taking the time to visit me, hang out with me while I draw, helping me figure out how Magnus here is gonna look, and watching me ink the Eva. My next stream, I don't know when it's gonna be. It's definitely gonna be. I'll do one next week for sure. My schedules has Tuesdays down, but I'm honestly not sure if I'm gonna be able to do Tuesdays anymore. We'll play by ear, so maybe Tuesday. If not Tuesday, definitely Thursday next week, and then Saturday again. I want to try to at least get back to doing my Thursdays and Saturdays. Tuesdays are up in the air. I did like streaming on Friday, so maybe I'll just do like a Thursday, Friday, Saturday sort of thing. I don't know. That's up in the air. Yeah, if you guys have a preference, you let me know. So I'm gonna do my shameless call to action, where if you like what I've been doing, you should follow me. Subscribe, whatever. Yeah. I think that's it. I'm really bad at ending these things, and I say that every time, and clearly I haven't tried to improve at all. But I'll get better eventually. So I think at this point, unless any of you guys have anything you want to say to me in the chat, I'll move over to my Patreon screen here. Do an outro here. So I do want to thank all my patrons. They're the biggest reason why I'm able to still keep doing stuff. Angers McBeard, Anthony DeSimo, Brian Gilbert, Brooke Clayton, Charles Pinn, DevDucko1, Elizabeth, Lawrence Winston, Lily Avonlea, Red Blaze, Matt Powell, MC McClure, Quick6, Seth Talley, Shadow Macer 66, Taylor Onesti, Tony Timonen, way too many T's, Zeriel, Chickadee, Doug Hogan, and I forgot. Here, let's do this live. We have a new patron here I gotta add. Here we got John. I'll just put his first and last name here. Swell. I don't think he wants me to put his full name up, but anyway. So, and thanks to John as well for joining the team. Here. How's that look? Get to watch me do my end screen live. Riveting, huh? Anyway, I would just say, good weekend. Thanks for the stream. Oh yeah, I appreciate you guys coming to visit. So I hope to see all of you guys real soon. And yeah, have a great rest of your weekend. All right, bye guys. Have a great one.